President Biden may have made a prudent decision to reverse his plans to end former President Donald Trump's policy on erecting a U.S. border wall. In fact, there is a story breaking entitled "Biden to Build New Border Wall," touted by Trump in policy reversal. And so this podcast will provide a very important commentary as it relates to the issue of border wall. But what is more important is that many people had thought that President Donald Trump's policy of erecting a border wall to mitigate and to minimize and stem the tide of rising illegal immigration, especially at the border, many people thought that that was un-American. But new reports suggest that a border wall may be necessary. Because when it comes to addressing the ongoing challenges at the Mexico-US border, the knee-jerk reaction has often been to increase the number of Border Patrol agents. However, a deeper look reveals that this alone does not resolve issues related to illegal border crossings and human trafficking. And our sources suggest that some border security officials are exploiting this situation, profiting from the desperation of those seeking safe passage into the United States. Welcome to another episode of the NeoLiberal Journals podcast. I'm Ronaldo McKenzie, and this podcast episode is entitled "The Complex Reality of Border Security and Illegal Immigration, Examining Alternative Solutions." Again, the title of this podcast episode is short podcast episode, which will provide a brief commentary as it relates to the issue of border security or the erection of a border wall and President Biden's decision to comply with former President Donald Trump's policy. And of course, Donald Trump, Dante is here, our co-producer. Donald Trump has actually responded saying that because President Biden has reversed his policy to now comply with his decision, which many had attacked, he should apologize. He should apologize. But that's what's coming up on the neoliberal. But as I said to you just now, many people, President Biden may have made a prudent decision to reverse his plans to end former President Donald Trump's policy on erecting the border wall, as some agents cash in on illegal immigrants willing to pay huge sums to these said agents to come to cross the border. So if President Biden's plan was to end that policy, to end the policy of erecting the wall, and to increase the number of Border Patrol agents that we have, then that's futile. That's futile, and it's not necessary, and it's not a fix. Do you know why? Because, as I said before, Border Patrol agents are making deals on the side, outside of their job, to bring illegal immigrants in. How do we know that? We have sources on the ground, closely connected. This is the NeoLiberal Journals podcast, brought to you by the NeoLiberal Corporation, serving the world today to solve tomorrow's challenges by making popular what was the monopoly. We'll be right back after this. Welcome back to the episode entitled the complex reality of border security and illegal immigration, examining alternative solutions. It's an article. This isn't actually an article in the NeoLiberal Journals. We'll also make it available in the NeoLiberal Post. The NeoLiberal Journals at theneoliberal.com and the NeoLiberal Post at ronaldocmckenzie.com. Now, reports indicate, Dante, that certain unscrupulous agents are charging exorbitant sums ranging from between 5,000 up to 10,000 US dollars and beyond from illegal immigrants in exchange for safe passage once they can afford these hefty fees. We know this because we've spoken to persons who are connected with other people who have done that. We have spoken to several persons, but we won't reveal those persons at the show. But shockingly, once payment is secured, these agents have been known to transport some of these individuals in official US patrol cars to predetermined locations, often to reunite with their families. That is what we know. These activities occur not only at the border, but even within the confines of embassies, raising serious concerns about the integrity of the system. There was one time and it's not what this is actually what has happened, because I lived in a country where you have to get visa, go to an embassy and apply for visas.
Where was that?
Okay. It happened in a lot of global south countries, especially in global south countries, because immigration policies towards global south countries is draconian. Okay, it's restrictive compared to other countries or post-industrial countries or European countries. Okay. But we know this in Jamaica, because there was a cooperation between the Jamaican government and the US government many years ago to stamp out fake visas, because there was a lot of fake visas. Where were these applicants getting? There were people who were approved for visas to come to the US who did not go through the normal channels of applying for a visa by going to the US embassy. In fact, when I applied for my visa, I was approached by individuals trying to get me to pay to get a visa to come to the US. And so I don't have to, because what happens is that applicants will join long lines in the sun, apply after 6 months, and you pay you convert your thousands of dollars into US and then apply. Then you go to the embassy and you wait in long lines, in the sun. Then by the time you get, then of course, usually the policy is that certain countries only allow certain number of people to get visas on any given day. So of course, if 100 people are applying for visas and 100 people show up that day, only 5 or 10 people will get the visa. Okay? And often it's because you don't have it. So what people will do is that it's an underground system, and not only that, the agents who work at these embassies and those who work at border security, they have side businesses. The side business where they create a system where people can now, where they participate in the provision of fake visas. Okay. So of course, these are things that we know. These are things that we are aware of, and recently we've had several discussions with several different people from various places who have confirmed what we are saying. So the activities occur not only at the border, but even within the confines of embassies.
How can they resolve that? How can they resolve that?
Well,
resolve their problem.
Okay, what problem? Of unscrupulous agents at the border or at the embassies. But first of all, President Donald Trump, during his presidency, part of his policy was to erect a border wall and have Mexico pay for it. Okay? Many people were against that, saying that that is draconian or that, okay? Many people were against that. Humanitarians, right activists, um, uh, uh, um, liberals, and Democrats were against that. But now President Biden seem to be reversing that. And in fact, many people are attacking President Biden's. Many people are attacking President saying that no, but saying as I said, these activities occur not only at the border but even within the confines of embassies, which raise serious concerns about the integrity of the systems. Given these disconcerting revelations, I continue in the article in the NeoLiberal Journals and the NeoLiberal Post, the argument for erecting a border wall may not seem as far-fetched or ridiculous as it once did. While a wall would still require personnel to man the gates and check for payment, it could potentially limit the number of patrol agents involved in such activities. However, it is essential to consider that a border wall alone is not a comprehensive solution. Because when you have, if you don't have a border wall and you increase the number of agents, then there's hardly any. It's difficult for you to monitor your agents if they are all across the border making deals. If you have a wall with one checkpoint at the border where people can cross, then you can erect security cameras, okay, and they can create, and you can have more checks and balances, and you will minimize and limit the number of. It would limit the any chance or any opportunity that border agents may have of wanting to make side deals, because now you have more control instead of it being spread out. Now, a more balanced approach might involve the construction of a border wall with strategically placed checkpoints. Such checkpoints would offer increased checks and balances, allowing for more robust monitoring of the border region. Advanced security cameras and systems could be installed at these points, providing a level of surveillance and oversight that an open border lacks. So not only should we be scrutinizing the people who are coming in, but also this very security officials and agents who we want to work at these borders. In conclusion, addressing the complex issues of illegal border crossings and human trafficking requires a multifaceted approach that goes beyond simply increasing the number of border patrol agents. While the idea of a border wall with checkpoints may have its merits, we must remain vigilant in ensuring that any solution prioritizes security, fairness, and the protection of human rights. Only through a comprehensive strategy can we hope to effectively address the challenges at the Mexico-US border or illegal immigration. This is the NeoLiberal Round podcast. We'll be right back after this. Thank you for listening to another powerful episode of the NeoLiberal Round podcast. Please, just so you know, we are available on YouTube. You can visit and subscribe to our YouTube channel, the NeoLiberal Round by Ronaldo McKenzie, or going to youtube.com/@RonaldoMcKenzie. But this particular episode is only available on our audio platform streams, which is available on iHeartMusic, Radio Public, Podvine, Adverb, Google Podcast, Amazon Music, the Audible, Spotify, Anchor for Spotify for podcasters, What else have we missed? Apple Music, iTunes, so on and so forth. But if you want to find your stream, you can subscribe for free via your stream by going to anchor.fm/the neoliberal. And please remember to donate to this podcast by going to anchor.fm/the neoliberal/support. Again, anchor.fm/the neoliberal/support. Coming up next on the podcast, we are also going to share an article that's available in our LinkedIn commentary, the Neoliberal Commentary, and it's also available in the Neoliberal Post. It's a podcast that speaks to a breaking revelation, or it's an interesting commentary based on the podcast interview we had a couple of days ago with Mr. David Fair, who is the Deputy Chief at Turning Point for Children, former Managing Director, Assistant Managing Director for the City of Philadelphia. The issue of immunity and the fact that the Department of Human Services, okay, developed, decided to change its its child youth services case management model to an improving outcomes for children model, which was the justification for changing from their multi-tier system to a more community umbrella system. But what we are realizing is that it would seem as if the Department of Human Services has transferred out the risk while still maintaining their authority. And that poses a problem because agencies are having to bear the brunt of the responsibility of child placement, okay, when the Department of Human Services makes the last and final decision and can override these agencies, community umbrella agencies' decisions as it relates to placement. But at the end of the day, if that decision is wrong, they are left, the DHS is immune from the consequences or the cost of making such a decision. But the agencies are not. So therefore, DHS should not have the authority to make the final say or determination or be able to override community umbrella agencies when they make certain determination. If they are not open to lawsuits, but the other agencies, but community umbrella agencies are. We're gonna quickly share that article that I wrote that's in the Neoliberal Post, but it's raising that particular concern, which was based on the interview that we did with Mr. David Fair, which is available here at the Neoliberal on the Neoliberal Around podcast in video and audio, and we summarize it in an article in our LinkedIn, the Neoliberal Commentary, and also in the Neoliberal Post and the Neoliberal Journals. Please visit our journals, our blogs, our feeds, our website, our podcast. Subscribe, donate to us, please. Go. You can visit us at ronaldocmckenzie.com and theneoliberal.com. We're all about serving the world today to solve tomorrow's challenges by making popular what was the monopoly, because we are a think tank that provides a subaltern perspective on the news. Just so you know, my new book, Neoliberal Globalization Reconsidered, Neo-Capitalism and the Death of Nation, is still not out because it's been delayed. I have been working on other projects. It's available, but we're still editing it, and we have expanded chapter 10 into 3 chapters. So instead of just having 10 chapters, we will now have about 13 chapters and an epilogue. In the meantime, please, yes, you can get a copy of the book that's already published in 2021, entitled Neoliberalism, Globalization, Income Inequality, Poverty and Resistance, available at Barnes & Noble, Amazon, Target, Walmart, thrift store, many different places online, in hardcover, paperback, ebook, and also in the Audible or the Nook and iTunes. You can also get the book here. Please follow me on Twitter, Ronaldo McKenzie or the Neoliberal Co., and visit us on Facebook at Ronaldo McKenzie or the Neoliberal Corporation, Instagram, and LinkedIn. This is the Neoliberal Corporation. Thank you for listening and subscribing and for supporting. Share the show with your friends and let us know how we can improve. What good?